Hey guys, it's Scott here, and this is my preview of the Florida State versus LSU game. It's going to be this Sunday night on ABC, and we're going to get into it. And both teams are kind of very similar. They both, got very prestigious fan bases. They both got a lot of name recognition, and they both haven't really done so hot in the last couple years. Florida State a little bit longer than LSU lately, as Florida State was kind of on top of the mountain, a few years back, and they just recently tailed off. Things got really worse under Taggart, and I think now they're starting to get ready to turn the corner. And for LSU, I think, they did win the national championship a couple years ago, but I still think they got a ways to go to, kind of get back to where they need to be. They did add Brian Kelly as the, head coach who came over from Notre Dame, who's done very good. But, I still think he's got his work cut out for him. And you can see the morning line for the game is, LSU's 3.5 point favorite. And I think that's fair. The game is in LSU's backyard. And they're even though it's not a technical home game, it is a neutral site game. So I think a lot more, LSU fans are going to turn out than Florida State. They do probably catch a break, not having the game all the way in LSU's. I think that'd be a real rowdy crowd for a nighttime game, and that's one of the better places in college football you can go play a night game. So when it comes to that, Florida State I think dodges a bullet for a little bit. And I think this may be an intriguing game where you take Florida State maybe to win if you like Florida State. The money line is plus 130, so 100 will return you $230 on your money. And they look really good in week one. As you can see, they had 33 first down, 638 yards of offense. 406 came on the ground. They really established the run game on that. They have Alice Atkins as the offensive coordinator, and he was the offensive line coach. So where his emphasis is going to be. They want to really establish the line, establish the ground game, and Florida State's going to live by their rushing attack. And they did get some chunk plays through the air. There was like 3 or 4 passes where they just took the top off the defense. And they just, all in all, looked really impressive. They had no issues moving the ball. And all the highlight I watched and the condensed game and everything like that, they just, and I went back and watched it a couple times. They just looked real, impressed when they beat won the game the way that, they should. And you can see by the matchup predictor that, LSU is a 72.5% favorite to win the game. And, rightfully so, given that it's a home game. But I'm going to say not so fast on this one. I think Florida State has a great chance. And, I think I'm personally going to put, in a parlay this weekend, Florida State to, be able to come out and win the football game. I don't think I'm going to take the spread as, it's only 3.5. And I really do like Florida State's chances. It might sound a little biased, when I went up to talking, but they just really impressed me in week one. And, I think Jordan Travis is going to quietly, have a great year. He's going to go under the, radar. And Florida State's really beefed up their receiving core. They've added some players in the transfer portal like Micah Pittman from Oregon. They got Trey Benson also came over from Oregon. And, both of them, especially Trey Benson, he looks really good. Micah Pittman was kind of the, big name. He was a highly rated 4-star recruit. And on defense, they still got Jamie Robinson, the transfer came over from South Carolina. They got Akeem Denton, who was a 5-star corner, got moved over to safety. And, just all in all, Robert Cooper is very solid as a run stopper. And they got Jared Verse, the transfer, who I think could, maybe replace, Jermaine Johnson's production from last year. And their linebackers are very good. Amari Gaynor is really good. He's not listed as a starter on here, but he's pretty much going to get, a lot of the time just like he is a starter. He's maybe a little bit on the smaller side, but he's very athletic, plays with a lot of heart. And all in all, I think this team is a lot more solid than people give him credit for. And when it comes to LSU, they got some, real question on the side of the ball. It's going to come down to quarterback. Now they got Jaden Daniels, who transferred over from, Arizona State. And, they're a lot of their players, they battle some injuries. And it's going to be a lot, new players, new faces. They got Kayshawn Booty, who had that 300-yard game versus Kentucky a couple years ago. And then he only played just a few games last year. If he can come back, then, that's certainly going to, add some intrigue there for, somebody to throw the balls. I think, you're going to be able to, you're going to have to pass the ball. Florida State, I think the run defense is, very solid. And, all in all, I just think Brian Kelly has his work cut out for this team. As, there's a lot of new players that's, got to come in. He lost 28 players last year. and he also brought in 19 players in the transfer portal. That's quite a lot to have a roster turnover. It takes time to get a new coach there and get a system in place. Look at Nick Saban. For all he's done for Alabama, he still didn't do so great his first year. These coaches sometimes need a year or two. Like when Jimbo Fisher was at Florida State, it took him a couple years to finally build that foundation. And look at Dabo Swinney for Clemson. You could see the progression, but very rare does a coach just come in and right off the bat just be able to win the football game. Just right off the bat. It just takes time, and certainly I think LSU could win the game. ESP and FPI seems to favor them. But I'm going to play against them. I'm going to go with Florida State. If you disagree with that, feel free to comment about it, and we can talk about it. And there's gonna be more game previews to come. Some of the big games like Florida, Utah, uh, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Oregon, Utah, Florida. So I'm gonna have all the games covered between now and Saturday.